Jesuit and Loyola graduate, and in his 8th season is voice of the Green Wave, doing radio play-by-play for Tulane athletics, including football, and they're coming off of a solid 12-3 win over UConn at Yulman Stadium this past Saturday night. Started at Tulane in the early 1990s, began working on baseball broadcasts, and has blossomed into an outstanding broadcaster, doing all elements of Tulane athletics these days. Tulane at Central Florida, Saturday morning, an early start, 11 a.m. our time. Please give a warm quarterback club welcome to Todd Graffagnini of Tulane University. Todd?
Thanks, Kenny. Really honored to be here today. Picked a good day to speak with all the Catholic League coaches. Again, as Kenny mentioned, I'm a former Jesuit Blue Jay myself, and it was great to see Coach Monica, who was our head coach at Jesuit when I was at Jesuit, so it was great to see Coach Monica. I know it's a big day when the Hughes brothers are here as well, so good to see you guys. Kenny, I don't know if you know this or not, but we might be making quarterback club history today because I now, you might have to tell me this, but this could be the first time in the history of the quarterback club that you have 2 speakers with the exact same birthday. Because Sean Fazan and myself have the same birthday, if you can believe that or not. But how about that? July 25th, by the way. As far as the game Saturday, very solid game for Tulane. It was one that we really needed to have. Playing at home, it was our first American Conference game. Obviously, was at night, and UConn had been struggling coming in. We had been struggling coming in. Both teams coming off bye weeks, so it was interesting to see how we would respond. I thought we had an outstanding couple of weeks of practice. Practice last Tuesday and Wednesday during the bye week. Kind of self-scouted everything, and then really solid last week. The big story was, of course, would our quarterback Tanner Lee play after being injured against Rutgers, and you know, the shoulder a little too tender for him. He did work out a little during the week doing drills, but the coaches really weren't ready to put him in there, and it was good to have Nick Montana back in there, who started a lot of games for us a year ago, including the bowl game against ULL. But I thought Nick was very, very solid in his effort. He managed the game well, did not make any mistakes, was not sacked, no turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions. Actually, for the second game, going back to Rutgers, Tulane has played mistake-free offensively. The one thing that we still have to clean up are our penalties, and we had 5 of them in the first half, and 3 of them cost us first downs when we were trying to take control of the ball game. Defensively, we were outstanding. The first series of the ball game for UConn, they got the opening kick, and they converted 3 third downs, and they kicked a field goal, and that was it. They didn't do anything the rest of the game. They only converted two third downs the rest of the way. We held them to 217 yards of total offense, 4 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, including a safety, which put us up 9-3, and then got a big kick from Andrew Duraco, who's had his struggles this year from 38 yards and basically put the game away. So again, it was a solid effort from us, played mistake-free, other than the penalties, and we'll see what's going to happen this weekend. As Ken mentioned, we're taking a big step up in class against UCF, who has really been one of the bell cows of then Conference USA and now in the American. Of course, they won the Fiesta Bowl last year with Blake Bortles, so they have continued their outstanding play with George O'Leary as their quarterback, and it's very, very difficult to play them in Orlando. It's difficult to play them anywhere, but they're very big, they're very physical. Got to watch them the last couple of weeks. They've actually been pretty fortunate. They eked one out against Houston a couple of weeks ago. Houston was going in to win the ball game, and the quarterback dove at the 2-yard line, and he knocked it out of his hand, and it rolled through the end zone. It was a touchback with 3 seconds left in the ball game. And then last week, it was a Thursday night game, and it was BYU and UCF, and BYU had a 24-10 lead on them, and they were able to come back and win in overtime. So we're playing against a very confident group, but you know, the win for Tulane was big, and we'll see if we can get a little confidence going into Orlando. So that's about it. Any questions from the audience?
Raise your hand. Question for Todd? Right there.
Can you talk about the venue and how y'all are enjoying, the new traditions that were old traditions of back, and it's, looks like
it's really been a lot of fun. And myself personally, I grew up probably a mile and a half away from Tulane's campus. The only game I could ever remember going to old Tulane Stadium was, Tulane played the Citadel back in 1974, and I was, I'm 4 years old, and I remember they won the game, but that's basically my only memory of Tulane Stadium. So, as a Tulane fan now, being able to broadcast in this venue and to see all the old Tulane fans come back, and now seeing all the kids in the stadium right now, I think is huge for us, because that gets a new generation into the ballpark and rooting for these kids. And I was talking with Tommy Clapp earlier, who we're going to hear in just a little bit, but what has made this so exciting now is all the local kids on our team. We have 21 kids from the greater New Orleans area and 70 from the state of Louisiana. And that's what Curtis Johnson has really wanted to do since he's been here for 3 years. And if you look at, just looking at who has done well, this kid Sherman Beatty, who has been fantastic as one of our running backs, had another solid effort the other night, 77 yards. That's a John Curtis kid. LeCedric Thompson, who has really battled knee injuries for 2 years, St. Charles Catholic kid, as we saw, Coach Monica earlier. Dante Butler, who has had an outstanding senior season. Brother Martin kid. That's the type of thing. Of course, our quarterback Tanner Lee's from Jesuit. So you're getting these local kids, and they're playing in a local venue. And we've won 2 games at home, and they've both been at night. And everyone tells me how much fun the games are at night. And I'm hoping that's going to continue. Of course, now we're on television every week, so that's going to, it's going to dictate when we play usually. But you can tell there's a sense of pride with the kids on the field when they're playing in their own building, and it's really been a lot of fun to watch.
Questions?
David Pierce, new baseball coach. He has been a lot of fun to watch. I've been to quite a few fall practices. They actually played Rice this past weekend in Houston. It was a 14-inning game. Rice won 8-4. It counts as a game played, but not on the schedule for next year. We're actually going to play 53 games next year. Actually going to play UNO at Greerfield Turchin Stadium this Saturday in a fall type situation. David Pierce has been successful wherever he has coached. He spent a long time at Rice under Wayne Graham, and then the last 3 years at Sam Houston State, 3 regional teams, and quite frankly, they probably should have beaten TCU in Fort Worth last year. They were not the beneficiary of a call at second base, which would have won the game in the 22nd inning, and they had to come back and win, and then TCU would eliminate them. But he has been a lot of fun to be around. His coaches, a couple of them came over from Sam Houston State. It's been interesting because obviously Rick Jones I'm very close with. He was at Tulane for 21 years, and I basically broadcasted every game Coach Jones coached. So in that sense, it's been a little different, but Coach Pierce has been successful, and he knows the model, having been at Rice. So I'm really anxious to see what we're going to do in the springtime. Our schedule is very challenging. We're going out to Pepperdine this year, and then a month later we're going back out to California to play UC Riverside. We've got Creighton at home, we've got Xavier at home, we've got San Francisco coming in, and then brand new American Athletic Conference schedule. So the RPI is going to be boosted up tremendously this year as far as baseball goes, and now we just got to win some games. It's been a while since we've been to a regional, and I know Coach Pierce is the man to do it.
Anyone else?
Thanks so much for having me, guys.